Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. So we've bellied up here. I've got to do some editing, some quick things. Our guest should be logging on any minute, but as I tell folks all the time, this is what it's like to do live. So joining us, he's in the background. He looks almost like the international man of mystery, or the most interesting man in the world, and I think he's the most interesting man because after using his product here for several months, I got to tell all of you before our guest even gets a chance to talk, he has what could be. We all like the "Just Do It" from Nike, and we like the other catchphrases. What was the one? Air it extra dry. I can still sing the song. Get a little closer and all that stuff. But let me tell you right now, he has what could be the best tagline ever created on any product ever in the world. So joining us in parts unknown, and I really don't have any clue. He might be in Mexico. Are you in Mexico right now? Let's see. We'll have to find that out here in a minute.
Can you hear my voice?
I can hear you loud. Even has the voice to go with the personality and everything. So joining us again, folks, in parts unknown, it's the CEO, founder, and international man of mystery himself, Mr. Dave Munson.
Wow.
How's that?
If my wife, yeah, that's funny. If my wife could hear me, or if my wife would just say that, I guess.
I mean,
my kids.
I'm probably not saying it as well as your wife would say it, but I mean, we can go with that. So Dave and I are going to be talking. He's got a new book out. We're going to be talking about his book, and we're also going to be talking about his company and his products and what he's got going on. For those of you that are joining us, let's get some house cleaning done here real quick. As always, what's up, Air 98? Appreciate you jumping on. As we always say, take care of the house cleaning. Over my right shoulder, as always, this is the big board for sticker and a cause. And I want you to see something before I haven't done this in a long time, Dave. I want you to see this. Do you see this right here? Do you know what this is? You know what that is?
Yeah.
It's a piece of your leather.
It's a big chunk of leather
that Heather sent to me. And I normally do my whole spiel, but this was from Heather that works with Dave. Sean, every Marine deserves gear tough enough to outlast a CH-53. So here's a flight bag and wallet built to serve a faithfully as you have. May they hold the stories, adventures, and maybe even a few podcast secrets worth fighting over when you're dead, when you're gone. I mean, does it get any better? Dave, I just got chills reading that. I want you to know that. I keep that up there because it's probably one of the coolest things I've gotten probably in the history of doing this show 6 years. So if you've got something you want to support, something you believe in, folks, just like Dave does, send me you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, all those different places. Send me your message. We'll read about you live here on the air. Let other people know what you got going on. So again, folks, reach out to us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or email us the Above the Bar Podcast at gmail.com, and our website is the abovethebarpodcast.com. And then we got to talk about our sponsors, and that is Budget Blinds of East Greenbush, Hudson, Coxsackie, Schoharie, Delmar, Clifton Park, and did I forget anybody? And East Green, I don't know. I'm running on fumes at this very second. So, but make sure you're reaching out to your local Budget Blinds here in the Capital Region. They do window treatments, they do blind shades, shutters, drapery, window tint, and this month it's 20% off all products, 5% off anything you motorize. And if you tell them you're there to belly up to the bar, they're giving you another 5% off of that. So make sure you're reaching out to your local Budget Blinds. And if you're here in the Capital Region, call me because I'm that guy. All right, Dave, all the house cleaning is done. How are you?
Sean, I'm doing pretty well. How about yourself?
I'm pretty good. I tell people all the time, they're like, what's it like to do a live show? Ta-da.
There it is, just like this.
Just like this. This is what live looks like. So I'm going to tell you. So listen, folks, you get to see all the secrets. So if you see me looking over to my side for a minute here, Dave, I'm not ignoring you. This is where all my notes are over on this screen. So
All
that's
right.
why I got to look over there. But
Well, actually, on my screen, you're looking at me when you're looking at your
oh
notes.
oh,
So
look at that. How about that?
that's like it's like total attention guy. Like,
So you feel extra special that way.
yeah,
So
yeah.
but I'm dead serious. To give some folks the background here, so Dave's people reached out to me. Him and I have been trying to make this happen here a couple of times. I had a reschedule, he had a reschedule, but this is one of those shows that I wanted to make sure happened. Um, and they reached out to me, said, "Hey, would you like to have Dave on the show?" And I said, "Absolutely." And I want you to see this. Like, I got your wallet. This is even one of your wallets.
That's a
Uh,
beauty, isn't it? My brother-in-law, that's his favorite wallet. He's had it for
I
15
love it.
years. He's just like, "I love it, love it, love it."
I got so this says live. Alex, you're not the first person to say that I look like if you bought Conor McGregor off of Wish or the Temu version. I've gotten that a few times. It's the beard. It's the whole beard thing going on. But I want to make sure I got some of this right. So you started Saddleback in 1999 in Mexico. You know, what threw me off when I first read that is you're not Mexican, right?
Correct. I'm, like 92% English.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was kind of confused. So how do we end up starting a leather company in Mexico? Where are you originally from?
Portland, Oregon.
Oh,
So
even
we like to destroy things, and anarchy, the symbol's been around for ever since I can remember. Yeah, but I don't do that anymore.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So how,
Portland, Oregon. We live here in Fort Worth, Texas, right now.
okay,
But yeah, Portland, Oregon is where it all started.
but how do you end up in Mexico starting a leather company?
Yeah, my youth pastor reached out to me. I was 28, didn't know what to do. I was, I just like, what do I do next? I don't know. I had been a youth pastor. And so my
Okay.
youth pastor said, Dave, we could really use someone just like you to go teach English down in Mexico. At
All
this,
right.
you need a volunteer, you need to raise money. And why don't you go down and teach English at these poor kids who could really use some help? So I thought, man, that sounds great. I took a lot of Spanish in high school, a little bit in college, and so I zipped on down and I taught there for a year. And while I was there, I had a leather bag made, I had this bag in my head. I thought I need a man's bag. I had like a JanSport
Right.
backpack, kind of thing. I said I need a man's bag, something made out of leather. Maybe something like Indiana Jones would carry or something.
I got you. Yeah.
And so I had that bag in my head, and I couldn't find it, but I found a guy making bags. Uh, and I said, "Hey, if I sketch it out, could you draw it? Could you make it for me? No breakable parts. I want my kids to fight over it when I'm dead. I want grandkids. And sure enough, he made it.
That is still the greatest tagline. They'll fight over it when you're dead. Like,
Yeah,
is that really what you said to the guy? Was like, "Hey, I want something that my kids are going to fight over when I'm dead." Like that's what you said
yeah.
to him?
Those are the words. That's similar to that. I had to refine it to they'll fight over it when you're dead, so it sounded better. But I in 2000 sometime, I wanted to go to Switzerland to get a gold watch, or I had
Okay.
$3,000, so as much gold as I can get on there. I wanted to get a pocket watch that I could hand down to my grandkids. I wanted something to hand down. And I think every man wants to hand down your guns or
Absolutely.
something, something to remember your grandfather with. I have my great grandfather's pocket knife, and it's really precious to me. And so I wanted something to hand down, and I couldn't get the watch. The train tracks were washed out, and I had this bag with me, and I was like, "Yeah, that's maybe I could hand down a bag." But anyway, I think everyone has that thought. So they'll fight over it when
Absolutely.
you're dead.
It's funny you say that. I've had that conversation with my wife um, many times because I have a couple of different collections. I collect comic books and I have firearms and all those kind of things. And my wife and I have had this conversation many times where she's like, "So what what are you going to do? And we've talked about, well, which kid is going to care more for which item? You know
Sure,
who,
yeah.
and that's interesting. And I love that you gave that lineage, like a different kind of a value to you. So you're down there in '99. You're and listen, folks. Again, if you're interested at all in Dave's product, I know I'm going to hype it up a lot here. Go to saddlebackleather.com. You can see the products he has. Is the book one on the website?
Yeah, the book's on there too. Um,
Can
actually,
you get
we
a leather bound cover version of it? Is there a
you know
leather
what?
bound
I
version?
I was gonna do that. I
Oh,
just ran out of time though. But I need to revive that whole
I
thing.
think so.
In fact, I was in England. I was in London and I walked all the way to this leather binder guy.
Okay.
He was like, "Yeah, for 328 pounds each." I was like, "What?" And he had done stuff for the crown, for the queen,
Right.
and I was like, "No, I gotta sell it too." Like,
Yeah.
so no,
Yeah.
no, that
Yeah. I don't see
but
anybody
we did.
jumping. Nothing personal. I mean, it's an amazing book, but I don't like 328 pounds. That's almost over 600 US last I remember, because the pound was
Yeah,
going better last I saw.
it was super expensive. So, but we recorded the book and we got audio book of the year last year with it. So,
Nice.
yeah, and some big audio reviewer uh, kind of society. So that was really, really cool. We were blessed that way.
I
And
love
you
that.
just tell the story. You know, everyone's got stories. I'll sit next to someone on the airplane. I'll go, "What do you do?" "Oh, I'm a street sweeper." "Oh, really? Is that why you're on the plane going to Mexico in the wintertime?" "Yeah." And Minnesota, you know, and man, they have really interesting stories. So I think, I think more people should write books.
What's funny about you saying that is that's how this podcast started. It was the concept of, we've all sat next to somebody at the bar, and you don't realize, like, I've got Bill Gates's personal barber sitting next to me at the bar. How the hell is it? And you have a 1 hour conversation and you never see him again. But you got
Yeah.
his story. And you probably know something nobody else does.
By the way,
Huh.
I met the hair cutter of the Queen of England, and he had cut her hair for the last 25 years.
What?
And I was like, he was a Scottish guy. He was in his 60s, and it was in London, and at this event I was at, and I go, "Well, how much for a haircut then? How much do you charge now?" You know, and he goes, oh, 400. It was $400 US dollars. And I was like,
Wow.
"Well, okay, so tell me what goes into that." Dude, wow, he waxed eloquent in this, British, Scottish accent, and I was like, I didn't do it, but I wanted to. Oh
Like,
my
but that's a story. Dave, like, come on now.
yeah.
How cool would it be to say, like, yeah, so the Queen's personal hairstylist cut mine? Like, how great would that be?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. That's one of those weird things. It's funny you bring that up. So that's one of those weird things. I always wondered, like, if you become the president, and I don't know about you, but my barber probably knows more about my life than most anybody else on the planet. And I've had the same barber for over a decade.
Mm.
Like, do you get to bring your own barber with you? Because that's a pretty important person.
Oh. Oh, yeah. I've heard, one guy told me that there was some famous Brad Pitt or something like that. No, it was Kenny Rogers. Kenny Rogers just said back in the day, the country singer, he was like, "Hey, my hairstylist, I just hired him full time. He travels with me,
I
and
get it.
he flies everywhere to all the concerts. He makes sure my beard is perfect. He makes sure my hair is perfect. I mean, he is my hairstylist." The president's got that.
Oh, that'd be so great. I mean,
Yeah.
I just think that's such a, like, I think that would be so cool. Now, I got now Suzette's your wife, correct?
Yes.
Now, where was Suzette with you when you were 28 and headed to Mexico?
No, no, I met her when I was 34. So I was down in Panama taking pictures of my bags and my bag
Okay.
and suitcase, and we're on this island. and I stopped in at this little cafe by the surf beach thing, and a little internet cafe, and I checked eBay to see how my bags were doing. That was in 2006, and then I checked MySpace, and there was this beautiful, really pretty girl, and she was gutting a deer. It had a
Oh,
picture of
I
her
love
gutting
her
a deer,
already.
and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's better than any lingerie." That's like, wow, she's gutting a deer, and
I love
her
it.
hair was kinda hanging down. She was looking over, over its belly, its legs were spread out. It
I
was
love it.
great. So, yeah, so we met there, and then, uh, we got we got married about, 5, 6 months later, and then,
Wow.
yeah, and then, 9 months and 15 minutes later, we had our little daughter, Sella, and then, Cross, and here we are. We started the factory in 2008, down
That's
in Mexico.
amazing. So you started the factory down in Mexico,
Yeah.
uh, and Suzette's got her own project, Love 41, which is a sister company, right, for Saddleback.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, Love 41 is all the feminine things. I designed for it, and Suzette does. And she likes zippers on things, and I don't. I go no breakable parts on anything.
I love that.
And she uses a really high quality zipper. I said, if you're going to use zippers, at least you have to use this. Is there a zipper from Spain? It's really, really amazing. And so she uses those, but I'm still again. I think she's kind of starting to see the light there. But yeah, no, and so the idea is, we believe that God gave us the business because He loves people, and He doesn't hug people. He doesn't give air hugs. He uses people for that. And so we figured um, that He would use our business for that too. And so we probably through Love 41, well, Saddleback, we've taken about 400 people to Africa
Oh,
over the
wow.
years to visit their sponsored kids and get involved in sponsoring kids. So
And
it's
that's the kids in
but
Rwanda, right?
kids in Rwanda. So all the money that Love 41, the profit from there goes all towards that.
That's super cool. Now, why? Not just that, because I'm curious. Why Rwanda?
Well, a friend of mine. So we were when we first got married. It was a little tight, and it just started growing. Like we were like quadrupling and quintupling in size. Like we're selling like $5 million worth, and it was just like me and my wife and my sister and my dad, and and her dad, and we didn't have any overhead at all. It's like it was just almost all profit. We're like, except for the cost of the bag. And so we felt like, hey, we should be giving out of that. So we started giving to. We're looking for a place to give. We didn't want to give it all to our church. And so I got a magazine in the news in the mail from my alma mater, and I saw in there one of my friends was the executive director, this new executive director of this ministry in Rwanda, with street kids and single mothers. And so, man, I love kids, teenagers, and she loves single mothers, and so we jumped in both feet. Um, yeah, it was cool. It's been a cool ride.
I bet and because as I looked over your notes, and I'm just thinking to myself, I love the fact that you've taken this from a faith based approach. Also, um, just before I got on here, I belong to a coaching group that's all faith based, called Altar Call with Ryan Blair, and it's all faith based. So I always love hearing those kind of things, and people recognizing that we don't do anything unless God gives it to us and tells us, "Here's your tools. Now do something with it." So I love hearing those things.
Oh yeah, when people start taking credit for themselves, it's I mean, we're supposed to do good work, and we should be proud of doing good work. But all my gifting, I mean, you have gifting, I have gifting. You're a real likable guy. I'm a likable guy. Seriously, you seem. I wish we were neighbors. You have a really likable spirit about you,
Well, thank you.
and so it's just the gifting He's given all of us. I'm using it. The doors He opened up, and He made me so I kind of like designing. I like marketing, and I just try to be responsible with that, like all of us do. And He makes it happen.
Well, I have to remember I'll be in Dallas in a few weeks. In August, I'll be in Dallas. How far is you're in where? Which part of Texas?
We're Fort Worth. So,
Oh, so you're right there.
yeah, yeah. We're 1 hour from downtown Dallas.
Yeah, we're
What are you
the
doing there?
budget blinds. So the budget blinds franchises that I own, since I own five of them, they have an organization within the organization called HVMT. So it's high volume multi territory owners. So they get us together because we're not that we're anything special above a regular budget blinds owner, but it's kind of this concept that we run our businesses a little bit different than a man with a van. I've got five I got five people that work for me and another one starting next week, and so I have to run a little bit different mindsets than somebody who, when I first started this, it was literally me and my oldest son, and I would sell and he would go put them in, and it was easy peasy every day to do that. Now we manage a whole different animal.
Oh my gosh. I was talking to this guy the other day at the at this event, this father and son event I went to, and uh, he was like, "Oh, hey, we have this business, module for this leadership thing, and man, you could scale your business and grow, 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 and you could." Da, da, da. And I said, "Dude, that sounds awful. Like, why would I want to do that? That's terrible." He goes, "Oh, because then you'd have, blah 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 blah." And I go, "Dude, I just have more headaches. It's hard enough as it is. People who own businesses, you own a problem-solving company. I don't care what it
Right.
is."
That's the God's honest truth. And listen, folks, if you're just joining us or you have questions for Dave, go ahead and drop a question right there in the chat. Let us know what you're thinking about it. If you're finding me through Dave or Dave through me, make sure you're giving that like, share, follow. I know it sounds cliche. And you can always go to saddlebackleather.com. So I'm looking at some of the others. I'm kind of curious about that first bag, though, for a second. I'm going to roll back to that for a second. Do you still have the original bag?
Yeah, I sure do.
Do you use it?
No, no, it's next to my bed. I just keep
Just
it there.
chills out next to the bed?
Just chills out next to the bed. I've conditioned it and keep it, nice and lubed up there. But yeah, no, we're building our headquarters right now. I'm in my warehouse because I don't have my office yet. Um, but we're gonna do a leather museum, and so the leather of war, the leather of work, the leather of sports, just cool stuff, right? And in fact, my wife just got me this big bellows. It's like 6 feet long, and it has chunks of leather still on it, but from the 1800s for mining, and they would
Oh,
use leather for getting fresh air into the mines.
oh, because
And
it was the durability. Yeah, makes sense.
yeah, and they anyway, so they used leather for everything back in the day. I mean,
Well,
yeah,
no, I was gonna say, you have to for me, if you ever get a chance, you have to find a pair of. Do you know what a set of broke dicks are?
I know what broke dick is because I've been broke dick, but I don't know what broke dicks are.
So that's what the Marine Corps we used to call the our shoes. When I first joined in '94, the shoes we used to wear were black leather with wooden soles, and they used to call them broke dicks because if you wore them long enough, your feet hurt so bad, and that's all you were was a broke dick trying to walk around in them things.
Well, you know what? This is interesting. So, in COVID, during COVID, a friend of mine is a famous shoe designer,
Okay.
really famous, and he was in Mexico. He was working on some shoes in our town. They make like 250 million pairs of shoes a year in Leon in Mexico. So he was there working on some stuff, and COVID hit. And I said, "Hey, Julian, where are you?" He said, "I'm in Leon." I said, "He's at some hotel." I said, "Why don't you stay at my house until all this blows over?" So, we have a house by the factory there. So, so he did, and kind of his way of saying thank you, he made a pair of boots for me,
Okay.
and I wore them for and they were super fancy, super cool looking, and it changed the way I dress, it changed everything about me, and I noticed after about 4 months, all of my knee pain went away,
Oh.
and I go, dude, what happened? Man, my hip had some hip pain and whatnot, at times, and plantar fasciitis. And he goes, He said it's the shape. He said it's an old military last from from 1912, and they use that shape from 1912 to 1970 to the Vietnam War, and then they
Huh.
left that shape. But it's it was proven that soldiers could walk like 120 miles with no foot pain, no foot problems.
God, I wish I
And
had those.
oh, and I wear them all the time, and you forget they're on. And
God,
so
that sounds amazing.
but they fixed, and so it's a twisted thing. It makes you walk like you're barefoot. Anyway, so I said the world has to know about this. And my second toe was bigger, longer than my first toe, my big toe,
Okay.
and it went back down. And I was like, and then at the same time, my pain went away. I was like, what in the world just happened? And
That's wild.
we make them in Italy, and it's been a really life. And my customers are like, dude, changed my life. So those boots are it's really a big deal, but they're old military boots, and now they left that shape to make it easier to make, real fast to make boot.
Right.
And these have to be done by hand. You have to pull by hand in some spots because the machines don't do the twist. And
That's wild.
and so they stopped doing it because you got to make them over 1 million pairs or a couple million pairs a year, and you
Right.
can't do that. You have to do it as fast as you possibly can, but it causes pain. So broke dick
D-
pain apparently.
Right. Oh, listen, trust me. I can tell you right your friend would appreciate this. And listen, folks, I know we've made a completely left turn into shit that nobody else cares about, Dave and I, but we're gonna go with that. Um, but I still can remember being in boot camp and my big toes going numb after like a week or two, like my entire big toes, couldn't feel them. And the Met, going to the BAS on Paris Island and being like, "Hey, I can't feel my big toes," and they called it boot stress. They're like, "Oh, you're not used to wearing boots; it's boot stress." And we
Really?
wore, that's what they called it, was boot stress, and we wore black leather boots, like legit, like out of the movies. Polished them every day, buffed them out at a minimum. Black leather boots with soles that by the time we graduated from boot camp, you could take a pencil and from driving our heels so much, you could take a pencil and roll them right under the back of my boots and never touch. Just roll it right under the back because you just drove that heel all the time when you walked because that's how you marched. You drove your heel. You drove your heel to make that noise.
Really?
Yep, they would constantly be like, not loud enough, drive your heel, and you would just boom, boom, and it was and everything. Believe it, as odd as it sounds, but everything had a purpose then. So the reason you drove your heels that way is we got taught a form of hand to hand fighting called line training, which stood for linear inverted neurological override. Basically, just meant hit somebody in the three soft spots: eyes, throat, groin, and then you finished everything with a heel stomp to the side of the head after you took them down. So that was what you were
Wow.
doing. You were working on that. Weird piece of knowledge for you. Kathy, if you're still out there, I got to give you a call. A friend of mine, Kathy, gave you a big heart there. So I want to go back to the book though, because I know that if I don't do that, Heather and everybody's going to yell at me. We didn't talk enough about the book here. So I know you said you talk to a lot of people and you get a lot of stories, but what kind of drove you to say? I mean, you've got all this other stuff going on. You're involved in a lot of things. Again, Dave, I you really remind me of like the international man of mystery. Like you should walk into a room and everybody be like, "Do you know where Dave just came from? Big Game Safari." Like you have that kind of a look to you. But
Well, it's funny when I haven't talked to someone for a month. They'll go, "So what part of the world are you in now?" I think, well, Texas. Like, so no,
that part.
we do go around a lot. My kids had 50 stamps on their passports when they were
Oh
5.
wow,
And
5.
so when they were 5, we went around and about, not different countries altogether, but a lot of the same. Um, but yeah, no, a lot of the times we go to Rwanda, and I go, hey, can we stop over in Morocco on the way back?
To go.
I asked someone whoever got our ticket, and they'll go, yeah, it's no extra cost. because
Oh,
it's
really?
you just go up to Belgium and then go to Marrakesh and then you fly back to Belgium. It's kind of a layover, but when you pay those big tickets, 1,200 bucks, 1,500 bucks, it's everything's included. I mean, you can go to all these cool places. It's a cool little trick. We've done it many times. So
Morocco's
we
on my
go,
list.
yeah. So what's that?
Morocco's on my list of places I'd like to go.
It should be. It's a really neat place.
How amazing is the food in Morocco?
No, I'd give it a if five is average because five's one between
Hmm.
1 and 10. I would say five, 4.
Really? Oh man, it looks so
Yeah,
amazing on TV.
it's a lot of vegetables, and there are
Okay.
some really good things, but it's just a lot of squash and
Oh,
vegetables, and so uh, yeah, we were even rejoicing at Burger King at the very end. We're like, we're like, oh look, Burger King, let's eat there. So,
mm.
but no, Morocco is a gorgeous country. It's real friendly. It's really cheap. It's really dramatic. It's really the Sahara Desert and all that sort of. It's just really a cool place.
Oh, I want to go back to so you've done all this traveling, but I want to talk about the book here for a second. Because, folks, the title of the book, if it doesn't make you go, all right, I got to read this, it's They'll Fight Over It When You're Dead, the true story of how I survived terrorists, morons, an assassin to building one of the coolest leather companies in the world. So, which one of those three? Because I survive morons on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So I don't, listen, I mean this with love, but I don't, that one doesn't impress me. But I'm surviving them every day. Sometimes I think when they see my van going down the road, it just like distracts them to like, oh, I've got to drive very close to this and see if I can hit it. Uh, but which one? Like somebody tried to assassinate you
Yeah.
for
Dude's
what?
gonna full on. It was only 3,000 bucks, and he owed me 40,000. So he told me it only cost 3,000 bucks to have someone offed, and so 30,000 pesos in Mexico. He said between $2,000 and $3,000, and um, so it's kind of a longer story. Uh, but it was I said it. So I had this deal. I worked at a golf course down near Mexico City, which I'm pretty darn sure I was working for the cartel, like a cartel boss, like one of the big boys. And they owned a golf course, and they had armored vehicles all the time, and all these like super bad guys, and it is a bad group, right? And I didn't know it. But I was selling real estate, this land around this golf course, a really nice golf course up in the mountains, and this Jewish group came in and they said, "Hey, we want to open up like a Jewish, like a kosher for Orthodox Jews, men and women resort, men on one side, women on the other, that kind of thing." And
Okay.
this place was a glorious, wonderful weather all year. It was really cool, and so I knew the land owner next to the golf course. And he had said, if you find a buyer, I'll give you 10%. So they wanted about 400,000 bucks worth of land. And, and, uh, and so my commission was 40,000. And I said, hey, my boss at the country club, Mario, I had changed the name of the book, but his name was Mario. I said, hey, he wants a commission. And he goes, oh, don't you worry about Carlos. I'll just have him killed. And then he went like this across his neck.
Oh shit.
And I go, yeah, that's what I said. And I said, what? Like I said, oh, well, yeah, of course. Like, duh. Like, how much does it cost? And he said, oh, 20, 30,000 pesos at the time, $2,000 or $3,000. I said, how do you do it? He said, oh, I've got some federale friends of mine that they'll send someone and they'll just take them out. And I go, oh,
Just
okay.
nonchalant like that? Just like
Yeah, just nonchalant. So, like he's done it before, And so a couple days later, I'm at this wedding party, and I tried to get him to sign a contract that even if I wasn't alive, all of these different people's listed in this legal contract could come and collect my commission.
okay.
And as soon as I did that, he's like, hey, I'm late for a meeting. I got to go. And I go, late for a meeting, you're late for all meetings. What are you worried about? Like, no. And signed this. And he's like, I got to go. Took off. 2 days later, I'm at this wedding, big outdoor wedding, in this town called Tecumseh. And I look over my shoulder. I have my old Land Cruiser there and Blues in there, and I'm sitting there, standing there, and I look over, and Mario's son is pointing at me to this big gorilla of a man. He wasn't as tall, but he's just big and thick.
Just big boy.
Big boy. And the guy starts walking straight over to me, and we started talking, and he's like, you want another beer? And I go, oh no, I get heartburn, later at night. It's late now, and he's like, do you want me to kill you right now? And I was like, well, no, dude, you can't say that. And so anyway, sure, I'll take another beer. And so they had another warm beer. And anyway, long story short, he's staying at my house after snorting cocaine. And he's like, does Mario pay for what and he was right in front of me, just snorting cocaine right in front of me. And it was just a little odd. I wasn't used to it. And I was going to kill him. I had I set my hatchet up in my Land Cruiser, and I had it all sharp. You never know when you're going to need it.
Right.
I had it all wedged in place. I was going to crash the car. I had a real big bumper sticking way out. And then I was going to just get out, and I was going to cut his head off. I was just going to hatchet him to death. And I had it all planned out, and it ended up not happening. He ended up staying at my house that night. And I had 2 beds, 2 little single beds, about 2 feet apart from each other. And I was like, okay, as soon as he stops breathing, or starts the regular consistent breathing, me and Blue, we're gone. We'll come back some other day, And dude, next thing I know, I'm this bright light right in front of me, looking like, what is a bright light? And it was the sunshine coming through the window. I had fallen asleep.
Oh shit!
Next to him, and so he got up, snorted some more cocaine, and left. But we had become friends. And in fact, I had said to him, I said, Israel, I said, you're pretty. It turns out I knew his sister, randomly. And I said, your sister said you're pretty miserable. He goes, yeah, I am. I said, you tried to kill yourself, huh? And he goes, yeah, several times. I said, you're looking for love, aren't you? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am. What? Well, he's starting getting, this is the night before. And I said, and peace and joy in your life? Yeah. I said, people look for it in all kinds of different ways. But you can only find true, long-lasting peace and joy in your life and love through Jesus. And so I explained to him that Jesus died for your sins. He was buried. On the 3rd day, rose again. And if you believe that with your whole heart, you're counting on that. Like I told him, if I'm standing in front of God right now, let's say I died, and he said, why should I let you into heaven? Well, I was just telling what you told me. Your son paid for all my sins. That's all I got. I believed you. I trusted you. I put my faith in you. It's all I got. Anyway, so he gave me a big old hug that night, but I still didn't trust him.
Right.
And so, but that was the story. It's a lot more involved.
Yeah, there's more to it, but
he knew all about my passport, my work visa. He had researched me, and there was a lot there. So anyway, yeah.
And again, folks, if you're just joining us, please give a like, share, follow, and all those things. But if you want to know about the book, you can check it out on Barnes & Noble. There's an audio version. It's on Audible, right?
It's on Audible, yep.
So
it's on all the channels. It's there.
So I'll be listening to that soon here. And it's called They'll Fight Over When You're Dead, the true story of how I survived terrorists, morons, and an assassin to build the world's coolest leather company in the world. Now I got to ask then. So when we say morons, again, I tell you, I deal with them all day long. Like I live in upstate New York. Like it's just, That's all I can tell you, but to specifically mention morons, was there a particular one that stands out? Like somehow I made it through this?
Yeah. But let's just say the FBI called me in about about this guy.
But his name wasn't Jeffrey, was it? Wasn't
What's that?
Jeffrey, was it? His name wasn't Jeffrey, right?
Yeah, no, 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 no,
Just
no,
making
no,
sure.
no.
Just making sure.
So the FBI called me in about him, and I go, dude, he just stole $2 million from me. Are you kidding me? We just got all the forensic accounting done, and it's two
No
million.
shit.
And he over the last several years, and they said, oh, he's a very suspicious man to us.
You
And then
think?
there was another guy. I couldn't really talk about him in the book for legal reasons. The publisher was like, "Nah, we don't want to touch that and get sued." So I gave him everyone different names, and I
Smart.
avoided that stuff. But that happens. And then the terrorist part, I accidentally took my family to Somalia on vacation, and there were these Al Shabaab terrorists.
No one's ever said that, right? No one on the history of the world has ever been like Somalia, good beaches.
Good beaches. Actually, they have nice beaches there, big shells. Um, but so that was an accident. That was an accident. I found out later on the way as we were like fearing for our lives. I found out that our kids were the only reason we're still alive. They would have killed us, but they love kids, and we had our kids with us. That was in 2015, I think.
Oh my god.
So
How old are
kids
the
were
kids now?
Sella, my daughter, has just turned 19, and my son Cross just turned 17.
Now, do they work within the company at all?
Yeah, my son was just in the warehouse today, packing boxes and sweeping the floor and stuff. My
That's
daughter,
amazing.
she doesn't have any interest. She doesn't even like the smell of leather. Isn't that weird?
How do you not like leather? The smell of leather and bay rum are two of the most amazing smells in the world. Like,
They are.
I should introduce you to the
And
guy
coffee.
who owned. No, I know the gentleman, and his name's going to escape me now. He owns Phoenix Shaving.
Okay.
It's kind of like the shaving version of you. He started off in New Jersey making stuff in his house, and his wife's father had a warehouse in Phoenix, Arizona, and the company was already called Phoenix Shaving. And the guy was like, "You want to move out here?" So he moved out there and created this boutique shaving company where they make like a lot of bay rum smells, which is one of my favorite smells. And
Let me write that down.
yeah, Phoenix Shaving. It's a boutique company. I'll find his stuff and have to introduce you because I think that would be something like you would definitely dig, just even as a product. It's good enough that every morning when my wife lays my clothes out for me, she lays the bottle of Bay Rum aftershave sitting there for me. She's like, "This is what you're going to wear today." She
Oh,
doesn't grab
really?
the bur. She doesn't grab the Burberry. She doesn't grab the Sauvage. She doesn't grab the whatever the other one, the Chanel Blue. She doesn't grab those. She grabs the $35-$40 bottle of Bay Rum aftershave from Phoenix Shaving. She's like,
Really?
that's it. Yep.
My wife got me some bottle in it. It looked like a whiskey bottle,
Okay.
but it was shampoo, and it smelled like uh, sweet pipe tobacco.
Oh, I know that
Oh
cherry
my gosh,
smell.
it was
Oh,
great. Yeah,
I love that kind of
and then
stuff.
my whole family used it. So like, I was like, stop! I had to use like a little extra just to get
Just so you could have it.
so I could
Well,
use it. I thought of
well,
peeing in it just to make sure like
oh.
dibs on the
Listen,
shampoo.
that's when you tell the kids. You only got to tell the kids one time, like, "Do you use my shampoo?" Yeah, well, I like the smell. Like, well, I peed in that.
Yeah, I
What?
peed in that,
I
or I
peed in that.
spit.
Yep.
I had some roommates in college, and we had 2 refrigerators. There were 6 of us in the house, and someone kept drinking my milk. And so all of them happened to be in the living room at the same time, and I walked in with my jug of milk into the living room, and I go, "Hey, does anyone have any, a straw? I got some corn that came out and it went into my milk, and I need to get it out." And that was the last time anyone drank my milk.
Fair enough. Listen, that's a good way of doing it. Well, listen, folks, it's almost last call here at the bar. So let's raise a glass to summer. As June comes to a close, summer is just getting started. long evening, backyard barbecue time with family and friends. It's the season for slowing down just enough to enjoy the people around you. This episode is brought to you by New Scotland Spirits, handcrafted small batch whiskey made right here in upstate New York. Every bottle starts with locally sourced grain and crafted with the care and attention that makes every pour something worth sharing. So, as you close out June, look ahead to everything summer has to offer. Make sure there's a bottle on the table that's as memorable as the stories you'll tell. NewScotlandSpirits.com, where you can find a bottle near you. New Scotland Spirits, crafted for the moments that bring us together. Here to a great summer ahead. All right, you gotta pay the bills, and that's actually what's in my glass right now. Do you drink whiskey at all,
Hey,
Dave?
Sean.
Yes.
Hey, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Um, I'm not sure if it's my internet or yours, but I'm not hearing you very well.
Oh, can you hear me any better now? How's that?
Can you hear now?
I can hear you
Okay.
fine. You're
Can you
clear
hear
on
me
my
fine?
end. Yeah, you're clear on my end.
Can I call right back in?
Yeah, log out and log right back in.
Yeah?
Yeah, give it a shot. So Dave's going to log out, log right back in. Again, folks, if you're curious what Dave's got going on, you can check out saddlebackleather.com. Uh, I kid you not, I use their bag. I've been using his bag now for a while. I love this bag. I use it to carry my computer around. It's a helmet bag. Uh, Mine is in the color of tobacco, they call it. I've been using it for a while, and I'll tell you, there's not. I get comp. I guarantee you, I get at least one or two compliments a week on the bag. It is something special to be held. Looks like Dave's still having some internet issues here, but the bag itself is something to be held. Um, I have friends who are very into bags, and they will tell you that the quality is there. The other thing I'll tell you about their bags is check out Dave's wife's company. I was over on their Instagram, which is Saddleback Leather, also, and when I was over on his Instagram, so I'm gonna guess that the bag that I saw must have been from the Love 41. Yeah, because it must have been because I'm now I can see it, and the Love 41 bags, they have one. They said it was like a unisex bag, but I'll tell you, it was super cool looking. Done in a blue color leather. Just a really cool bag. So Dave's working on getting himself back on here and log back in. But I tell you, if you got anniversaries coming up, birthdays, anything of that nature coming up, this is an easy shot right here for you folks. Grab yourself one of Dave's bags and check out what he's got going on. You can, I promise you, if you buy one of his bags, or like I'm on here right on the website, his wife's side, the Love 41, they've got one on here called the Latina Leather Backpack. If you got any woman in your life that's got kind of that kitschy, almost hippy dippy kind of look, this is like the perfect bag. Am I describing it well, Dave? Is that a good way to describe that one?
1 second.
Oh, whenever you're ready,
Can you
whenever
hear
you're
me now?
situated. I can hear you good. I can hear you fine, Dave. I haven't lost you sound wise at all. I haven't lost you one bit in the sound department, brother. So you let me know whenever you're situated. This is what I tell people. This is live, folks. This is how live works. Whether we like it or not, things are going to happen. We're either going to lose signal, we're not going to be able to get a hold of each other, but things like this happen. Let's see here. So check that out, and then while Dave's getting himself situated, and we'll get him logged back in here
There
before the
we
show.
go.
There we are. Here he
Hey,
is.
there we go.
So
Sorry
I
about
was just
that. I just had
so
a anyway.
tell
Here we are.
Suzette that I was describing the Latina bag, um, and I said it's for the woman in your life who feels like she wants to be hippy dippy, but she's really not. Is that a good
Yeah.
description? Is that a fair
Yeah,
description?
yeah. I think that's a really fair description. She used to be, when we met, man, she was high heels and dressed to the nines. I mean, I was like, oh no. I was like looking for a girl who would like sleep on the rack of my Land Cruiser and we could camp and road trips. She was like, I was like, oh no, she's not. But
But you
I
said
was
she field
really,
dressed a deer.
yeah. So I knew there was hope. And then we got married, and she stopped wearing high heels with the kids. We were pregnant. She's afraid of falling, hurting the baby, and then she
Oh,
finally came around. And now she's real casual. She dresses real fashionable, real a lot of sashes and different. A lot of women ask her to take them shopping to
oh wow.
dress her. So she has really good taste with what looks right and what doesn't. And she was so when she does a bag, the women really usually like it a lot. Um, and they're more casual bags, more
Gotcha.
sort of like you were saying, kind of hippie-ish, but not really, not like big
That's what
hand
I'm
sewn,
saying.
big, but it's still like a classy, still classy.
Absolutely. Now, because I want people to know, but I know obviously we're talking about the book and everything, folks. And again, if you want to know what Dave's got going on, you can check saddlebackleather.com and you can check the book over at Barnes and Noble. If you just type in "they'll fight over it," it'll come right up. But I wanted to ask you because I saw this on the website and I just don't know what it is. What is the Saddleback Club membership? What is that?
Yeah, that's a it's a so I put together a red, white, and blue this time. So every year I'll put together a package of stuff. It's usually worth $800 to $900, somewhere in there.
Nice.
And so what I'll do is I'll just uh, if you get it, if you get the bundle, which is like $4.99, then you get 10% off for the year, and you get first access. We have this like this teddy bear thing. We have we're doing this, and everyone gets first access to it. Check this out. The members. So if you own it, you get this 250th anniversary
I love it.
Uncle Sam teddy bear. My wife did this one, and oops, it goes on there. And but yeah, so you get this kind of stuff. We have all kinds of things like that. That um, that if you're a member, you get first dibs for new launches, and you get we'll have all kinds of. We do a club membership trip down to Mexico and we do the
Nice.
leather tour. We do the tannery, and you see how they tan leather, and you do the leather factory, and you make some stuff yourself, and then we stay in the city of Guanajuato, which is it's the coolest city in North America. It's
Really?
shocking. It is shocking, and people don't know about it.
Yeah, I've never
But
heard of it.
it's a direct flight to Leon, and it's about 15 minutes from there. It was built by the Spaniards in the 1500s and 1600s, and then all the mines under the city are all now the highway system.
Oh,
And so
interesting.
you just take these mine shafts driving through and pop up on the other side of town. It's really cool. So we have like a 4-day members trip if you're a member, and yeah, it's a pretty cool thing we do.
I mean, I'm looking at this right now, and again, folks, I'm just peeping it, and I know the bag I have from you guys, and listen, I can't thank Heather enough for my bag. And I use it every day, and as I was saying while you were fixing your internet, I get compliments daily, at least a couple times a week, where somebody goes, "Man, that's a really cool bag. Where'd you get that at? Where'd you find that bag at?" And I'm like, "Well, and then I tell them the story because I have the I guess this is the right one, the Blackstone Barista briefcase, but mine's in but I don't know though. Mine's like kind of a rougher leather and it's in the tobacco color. What would that be?
Yeah,
It
it's a
looks like
great color.
it is a great color, but it looks like this bag, but it's not this like shiny stuff. What would that be? A travel bag? Would that be on
Yeah,
there?
so you got the barrister. That's
Okay.
the flight bag. They look
Yeah.
real similar.
Yeah, it's like a helmet
The
bag. I call it a helmet bag. It reminds me of.
Yeah,
But it's so
yeah.
cool.
Yeah,
You
those
just have
are those are fantastic. So everything we do is word of mouth, and so for the most part, everything that comes to us is just people talking about it. Hey, where'd you get that bag? Where'd you get that bag? Oh, let me write the name down. Like, can I take a picture of the name, on your bag, sir? And so yeah, that's we've really been blessed that way. People really like them, and so then someone will go, oh, I want to buy one for all of my employees, and then those guys go, how much did that guy spend on me? And oh, look at this duffel bag. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at these boots. Oh, look at these. So yeah, it's just a word of mouth thing. Um,
Well, it's funny you say that. That was actually, listen, hopefully none of my guys are listening, but that was like this year's Christmas gift. Is I plan to going on here and getting bags for everybody. But I got to figure out what makes sense because I have one woman that works for me, and then I have all the other guys that work for me, but some are installers and some are sales. And then I have one girl in the Philippines. So I got to figure out all this international shipping too. So that's a whole another thing. I got to figure that
yeah,
stuff out.
we get well, we ship from Texas. Um,
That's
but yeah, no,
international. That's
we
a whole
get
nother
yeah,
place.
right? We get uh, people who get like jobs because they have a bag. They'll walk in and go, "Oh, Saddleback Leather? You're hired. Are you here for that job? Yep, you're hired.
Oh,
If you
really?
value, you're hired." And one of my friends, I went to school with him. He's in the Navy. He's a chaplain. He's really up high
Okay.
now. He's a colonel, and he was in the Pentagon. And this one of the seven commandants of the Marine Corps was walked by, and he goes, "Soldier, come into my office." And because he was on crutches, my friend was on crutches, and he had one of his saddleback bags across his chest, so he wasn't carrying it right. He's like, "Oh man, he's gonna chew my butt out." And comes in and he gets behind his desk. He's like, "Dude, look at my desk pad and look at my wallet, and let me show you my bag here. I got this. Don't you love Saddleback?" He had those socks for forever, and he goes, "Everyone's trying to get 5 minutes with the guy, and here he is going on and on about his Saddleback gear."
I
So
love it. Wonder which commandant that was. That is too funny.
he has since retired. I just asked about him. I was talking to him the other day. He just retired.
That's too
So
funny. And I see the shoes. I love the slip ones. Maybe that's next on my list. Is I'll get everybody the slip ones.
yeah,
I think
the
that's re-
sheepskin ones are. I'm not.
oh
I know I designed them and everything, but they're spectacular. I mean, seriously, I
is
wear them all the time. All my friends wear them all the time. Everyone here works here, wears them all the time. They're fantastic.
I think that's the one I'm looking at right now. Is that the barefoot slip on shoe?
No, that's the sheepskin one is the one everyone wears. They wear it year round, even
Oh,
the winter.
sheepskin slippers. I see
Yeah,
them now.
yeah.
And
People.
these are kind of like you have some like more male leaning ones, more female leaning ones.
Yep,
Perfect.
yep.
I found the answer. Well, look,
There
folks,
you go.
we got to get ready to close up. As I always say, Dave, this was such a blast to talk to you. I've gone. I sometimes, oh, excuse me. Sometimes I say some weeks it kind of drags, but I've had 2 weeks in a row where I have to say both of my guests just really, well, actually three because Kathy and them just really have had some really good streaks here, and you're helping keep that streak going on. As I always say, folks, if you're finding me through Dave or Dave through me, make sure you're giving a like, share, follow, do all those cliche things. It may sound simple, but trust me, it actually makes a difference to both of us. I don't think Dave needs anybody to get the word out about him, but I'll tell you, his product is that good. His book sounds that great. I'll be listening to it. Love that kind of stuff. Make sure you join us next week. We have a gentleman on next week. His name's Ed Wilson. He's the author of 3 books investigating into the lost NASA Gemini 11 images. Uh, what was identified as sanitized intelligence brief documents derived from mission films. We're talking UFO kind of stuff, CIA cover ups, all those kind of things that my luck, I'll end up. Dave, if I turn up missing, make sure my kids fight over the bag. That's all I can ask.
All right.
Can you,
I don't know
when
the
you start
UFO
talking about
stuff.
those,
I don't know. I'd be careful.
those
I'd be
things always
careful.
happen. Now, don't log off on me right afterwards, Dave. I need you for just a couple of minutes. But at the end of every show, the guest always gets the final word. So, what's our final word for tonight, Dave?
Yeah, I would say serve the people around you, serve your spouse. I got to have lunch with Zig Ziglar before he died, the most successful man in America. And I said, it was like he was 82. And he said, I knew his son, so his son invited me to lunch with him. And I said, if all of your stuff were to go away, all of your books, everything were to disappear, and you could only leave us with one book, what would you leave us with? And he said, these three things. He said, court your spouse because success starts at home. He said, encourage everyone. And he said, thirdly, he said, try to help everyone around you to be as successful as they can be. He said, you do those things, and it's just weird how everything happens for you. If you're that kind of a person, you'll have everything you ever wanted or dreamed of. If you're that kind of a person. Now, you don't do it so that you can get things, but serving is the sign of a humble person. So when the dog tears up the trash in the yard and you're like, not mine, I didn't leave it out, you left it out. Why don't you go out there and pick it up? Why don't you go get your wife, your husband, another glass of milk? Why don't you give the best seat up? Why don't you rub their feet tonight? Serve the people you love in real tangible ways, not just overarching, I serve the home or I serve my family with, providing and stuff like that, but serve in little tangible ways and watch how your life changes.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.